Parents, if you are allowing your children to watch Netflix, you are potentially exposing them to this. Yeah, that's a transgender neutral-ish character that they start to, they're just kissing. That's what they're going to be exposed to. And by the way, there are calls to ban Netflix, but it's not just Netflix. The problem is way, way bigger. And this is all by design. Don't believe me? Just believe this Disney executive.
I was just, wherever I could, just basically adding queerness to, if you see anything queer in the show, I'm proud of it. But, I just was like, no one would stop me, and no one was trying to stop me.
Oh, God, these people are so sick. Welcome back to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. So we know that the indoctrination of kids into this woke LGBTQ agenda is still happening, and it's happening on multiple fronts in multiple different institutions, and younger and younger and younger, because they've infiltrated the education industrial complex in your kids' classrooms. And they're also infiltrating in these shows and movies and, cartoons that you think, oh, I can turn this on and walk away. No, you can't. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen the big push this morning to cancel Netflix. Elon Musk joined in on this conversation, which really got it to trend because he highlighted this show that pushes trans agendas. This is Dead End Paranormal Park. And let me just read you the description of the show. The animated series centers on Barney, a transgender teen protagonist who relentlessly pursues another man sexually while battling demons. I would say if this is part of the trans agenda, there are some demons to battle. Anywho. So you guys, should I even show the kiss again? Can we just let's watch this big juicy kiss.
Logs! Barney, are you okay?
I was so scared. I thought
I was never gonna get a chance.
Of course he has the blue hair. Ugh.
You're welcome.
Nope. Now, you may think, oh, well, that might just be for older kids. Okay, well, how about the show Cocomelon, which is for toddlers and babies, which I would say don't ever show your babies any sort of TV because it's not good for their developing brains. But the point is that this is a toddler's show. Trust me when I tell you, because any adult who listens to this garbage wants to blow their brains out by the second song. This is just developed for toddlers. So tell me why. There is a clip from Cocomelon for toddlers showing off a little boy in a dress with two dads.
That we know about you.
Oh, and the dads have to be interracial as well.
How about you break out those moves for your two biggest fans?
Go, that's great. So he's a little fairy. You noticed. I think that was Don Lemon over there with the white husband, because they always say white men are bad, and then we always find them with white men. Isn't that interesting? But this is for toddlers. This is for babies, and they just want to indoctrinate them as soon as they possibly can into thinking that is normal, into thinking that they should strive to be like that. And so there's been this big push, this big expose into Netflix. And why in the world are we allowing our children, not mine, why is America allowing their children to just sit them in front of the TV, walk away, and let them just soak all of that in? Well, Netflix stock is tanking right now because people are waking up to this agenda. I don't know why it has taken so long, but I welcome it. But I would just like to remind people that this problem goes way beyond just Netflix. It is so many children's shows across the board in the entertainment industry that are just subtle messaging trying to just throw it in wherever they can to make it just seem like it's just a blip. It's just a blip on their radar, because if it's just a blip, that means it's normal. There's nothing to even draw attention to because it's just normal. They're pushing all of this radical ideology, gender theory, drag culture, progressive propaganda into cartoons, streaming shows, preschool programming. And as I said before, it's all by design, okay? Let's take Disney, for example. I don't think I have to tell you that Disney went woke. It's probably why you stopped going to all of the movies like everyone else, because they were forcing all of these gay characters into their movies. It's like, guys, I just want my kids to go see a Toy Story. Does the main character have to be trans? It's a fork. I didn't think that this is like a thing. Do they have gay forks? You know? But this was all an intentional choice from these activists who became executives. And you had an executive producer by the name of LaToya Raveneau at an all-hands company meeting this was back in 2022. And we did exposés on this at the time. But I just want to remind you guys, when you are setting your child in front of a Disney program, these are the people, and this is their train of thought in what they want to put in that program for your children.
The showrunners were super welcoming, Meredith Roberts, and like our leadership over there has been so welcoming to like my like not at all secret gay agenda. And so like I feel like I felt
not at all
like
secret gay agenda.
Was, I mean, like maybe it was that way in the past, but I guess like something must have happened in the last like they are turning it around, they're going hard, and then all that like momentum that I felt, like that sense of I don't have to be afraid to like let's have these two characters kiss. Let's in the background. Like I was just wherever I could, just basically adding queerness to like if you see anything queer in the show, I'm proud family. But like I just was like, no one would stop me, and no one was trying to stop me.
I mean, it's just kind of, imagine being a grown adult and getting that much glee, that much joy from talking about how you're trying to indoctrinate children. It's really sick, these people. These people need mental help. But it's not just Disney. Let's go over to Nickelodeon. You may recall they aired this drag queen. This is a celebration of pride, because when you think of Nickelodeon, you think of having to celebrate pride festivals and Pride Month, right? That's definitely what I want my kids to be paying attention to, are the gay butthole festivals. Let's listen to a drag queen, Nina West, singing to children about pride.
It's Pride, everybody! Every color on the Pride flag is a symbol in the sky. Pride! And I'm proud to be me every time that I see that Pride flag waving high.
Isn't it so funny? They can't even make up their minds, because the lyrics of that song just said, I'm proud to be me, but you're clearly not proud to be you because you're dressed up as me. So which one is it? Were you born that way and proud of it? Or can you just change whatever you feel like you are, regardless of what God designed you to be? Like, they can't even keep up with their own messaging because it's all so stupid and bonkers crazy. By the way, it wasn't a one-off. Nina West was making the rounds. Nina West was in high demand for Nickelodeon because Nina West joined Blue's Clues as well.
Hey, Blue, look at all these families. Hi, families. It's time for a pride parade. Families marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. Families marching one by one.
Oh, look, gay alligators.
Hurrah, hurrah. This family has two mommies. They love each other so proudly, and they all go marching in the big
What is that, gay squirrels? Like, guys, you're going to turn this on and walk away. That's what you're turning on. That's what you're turning on. You think it's children's programming. You're somehow escaped from it. You're not. And the drag queen thing, I mean, you guys know I've dedicated a lot of my career to exposing all of the drag queen stuff. But since we're on the topic of Netflix, and since we're on the topic of the trans agenda, and since we're on the topic of how they are indoctrinating your children, let's talk about Discovery Plus. They launched Generation Drag back several years ago. This is a reality show following children as young as 11 years old preparing for their drag performances. Let's watch some of that.
I first discovered drag at 13. I didn't know what it was, but I knew I wanted it. Put on the wig and the makeup, and I'm someone completely different.
I'm so pretty!
No, you're not. You're
My
actually
drag
hideous.
name is Vanessa Shimmer, and she is just a force you cannot reckon with.
How do I parent a child that wants to do drag?
I never expected drag to be a part of our lives.
Oh,
I bet you
my
didn't,
God,
sir.
These are so cute.
I bet you
These
didn't.
are problems I never thought I had to prepare for.
Yeah, yep. Because you won't stand up to your mentally ill wife. I bet you didn't realize that. I wish you had the balls to stand up and save your son. So they're making an entire reality series about this. An entire reality series. And Discovery Plus is just propping it up to you, selling it to families like this is just normal behavior. And by the way, they're doing all of this despite the fact, I mean, you would think that Disney and Nickelodeon and all of these companies would look at the polling on this because the majority of Americans agree that children should not be exposed to drag performances. Children should not be exposed to all of this radical indoctrination. Children should not be exposed. It's very confusing, it turns out, for a child to sit there while grown men are dressed up as women and they have this like creepy, scary makeup on. They're turning womanhood into a caricature. It's actually very confusing and scary for children. So Americans don't even like that. But they don't care. They don't care. And in fact, let's move over to the Muppets. Tell me why Kermit the Frog is parading around with drag queens.
Gee, I am so sorry to interrupt.
Hi, Kermit. What's up?
You see, I have a bit of a style question, and you have such impeccable style. I thought I'd come to you.
You're asking me? Wow. Well, you certainly know how to flatter a girl.
You're not a girl. This is you can't even rely on Kermit the Frog to give you just good old fashioned wholesome programming. What can you rely on? What can you rely on? Now, I want to give you a couple more examples of the more subliminal. Now, a drag queen with a stupid wig and ugly makeup on is not necessarily just a subtle message. Okay, that's in your face. Let's move to some of the subliminal ways that they are brainwashing your children. Do you have any children in your household who are watching Peppa Pig? If you do, shame on you. Because Peppa Pig's friend has lesbian polar bear moms. I don't know why they have to make the polar bears gay, but they are. And how about Bluey? Do your kids watch Bluey? If they do, they are getting the subtle messaging, the subtle indoctrination, because there's more lesbian moms in Bluey.
Yeah, like when my guinea pig ran away, my mum's told me he might come back, but he didn't. Aww.
My mom's told me that he might come back, but he didn't. This is all by design. This is all intentional. And I love President Trump's America, but you can't just let your guard down. You can't just let your guard down because President Trump is signing these executive orders, making sure that men can't go into women's sports and that we're not sterilizing and mutilating an entire generation and all of these things that he's done. But they won't stop in the ways that they can capture your children. So please, with this Netflix push to ban them and cancel your subscription, just remember, stop handing your kids over to these radical communists who want to indoctrinate them through whatever means necessary. All right. I'm going to bring on one of my dear friends after this to talk about what's going on in Portland. First, I want to thank our sponsor, this segment, Relief Factor. So Relief Factor is there for those of you who live in constant pain and you're like, this is just my life now. It doesn't have to be that way. Okay. It's an all natural anti-inflammatory that actually gets to the root cause of the pain in your body, which is the inflammation. And they've got a 3-week quick start. So if you take the 3-week quick start, 70% of the people who order that go on to keep ordering more. It's less than $1 a day to see if it works for you. I highly suggest trying it if you're living with any sort of aches and pains daily. ReliefFactor.com is where you can get that. That is ReliefFactor.com. So President Trump is now deploying the National Guard to Portland, Oregon, where there has been a storm brewing there for a while. Despite all of the left saying every time we see these people out there raising hell in the streets outside of ICE facilities, we're told, no, nothing to see here. It's totally peaceful. Come live here. Come on. Look, it's pretty out here in Portland. Well, it turns out it's not. And it's looked like a war zone for months outside of these ICE facilities. This footage that we have right now is back from July of this year. They've been throwing explosives. I mean, look at this. Wow, police actually sort of doing their job. That's interesting. Wouldn't think that you would find that in Portland, which is, of course, why President Trump is having to bring in the National Guard here. And so let's kind of flash forward to last night, where it's still going and just escalating because these terrorists, domestic terrorists, are out there attacking reporters. Look at this standoff. Wow. And remember, all because ICE is doing their jobs, getting criminals out of our country. Remember that, okay? So they assaulted Katie Davis Court with the Post Millennial with a Palestinian flag. Let's watch some of that.
Ooh, scary.
Don't.
Oh.
She just hit me in the face.
He was at the January 6th.
Show the eye, Stephen. Just her black eye started immediately forming because they assaulted her. And, you know, the left, it's like, it's not enough that they're trying to kill some of our most inspirational leaders. They're just out there continuing to try to assault people and inflame the situation because the left knows no other language but violence, apparently. And here is some of these agitators burning a MAGA hat.
Yeah, Turning Point USA. Yeah. This is what we have to do.
You think Charlie Kirk deserves to die?
I think Charlie Kirk's a piece of shit.
Nobody does. That's the
yes or no?
That's the point.
Yes
honestly,
or no?
He's kind of a fascist, so I would say yes.
What's your message to the right wing?
Them.
I loved the end there. It looked like he burned himself. Yeah, that tends to happen when you're holding something that's on fire, douchebag. I want to welcome Savanah Hernandez. She is, of course, my friend over at Turning Point USA, a contributor for them. And she actually got that footage. You are out there. Savanah, the mom in me is like, what are you doing? I'm very concerned that you are out there in Portland getting footage of these crazy nut jobs who clearly have no problem with violence.
Yeah, Sarah, you know what? I think the silver lining here is that it isn't as violent as it used to be back in 2020. So just to give people context, because this has been going on for 5-6 years at this point, right? Back in 2020, as a journalist, if you even brought your phone out, if they saw any semblance of you recording, you were immediately beaten with a steel bat. This is why Andy Ngo actually moved all the way to London, because they were tracking him down and trying to murder him. So, okay, none of this is new, right? We fast forward to 2025. Now, what you're seeing outside of this ICE facility has been going on for over 100 days and still very violent. But like I said, I do want to say that I think that the real domestic terrorist Antifa members who have been fomenting violence in Portland since 2020 are in hiding right now because they do know the National Guard is coming, because they do know that there is leadership currently running our country that is going to hold them responsible. So again, still very violent, but not as violent as 2020, I would say, but still violent.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I love your silver lining. I love that because I look at this and I'm like, how in the world is this still freaking happening in 2025 with President Trump in charge? You would think that these people would be put on notice that their antics are not going to be, tolerated anymore. I want to play one of these guys that I don't. In Portland, it's really hard to tell sometimes. I'm not really sure. They're really digging the gender neutral look. But I think it was a guy that was getting in these agents' faces saying, he's a real tough guy. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I'll take you out. I'm going to take you out. And then he got arrested and he was seen trembling like a little bitch.
Sarah, this is my favorite part about this week because these people are all talk, but when push comes to shove, when they actually face the bare minimum of consequences for terrorizing people on the streets, this is how they act. And again, I want to give a timeline for people because I think that sometimes they forget or people don't understand the full scope of how long this has been going on for. The first protest started on June 4th of this year, and that started off with them blocking those ICE vehicles like we've seen across the nation. Then you fast forward to July, they were printing out the photos of ICE agents with their addresses in hopes that people would go to their homes and threaten them. So they've been doxing people. They brought a guillotine with a blade to peacefully protest in front of this ICE facility. They have been trying to light the building on fire. They have been threatening residents. Residents are suing the city of Portland because guess what? You call the Portland police, they're not going to help you. They're going to say, oh, no, sorry, it's just too dangerous for us. That's exactly what they did to Katie Davis Court just 2 days ago when she was assaulted. She had to go and track down her own assaulter and then pointed them out to the police. And the police were just like, yeah, sorry, there's really nothing that we can do. So there's this big fight right now, too, with federal officials basically being like, hey, can the police maybe bare minimum do their job? Portland police chief came out and said, well, this is just one city block. It's not a big deal. Sure, maybe sometimes people get stabbed there. Perhaps they try to, kill ICE agents, but it's only happening on one city block and it's only affecting the hundreds of people that live in this apartment.
Yeah, I remember a while back there was video that surfaced of this very, very angry. There was a black woman who walked with a cane and she went outside and she was screaming at these. I'm sure she may be the person that you're referring to who's suing one of them. And she's screaming at them. And you can tell by the way that she is talking to them. She's like, because she says at one point, you guys are worse than ICE. And I'm like, this is a Democrat who is like probably with you guys on a lot, except you don't get to terrorize her and her life just because she lives next to the ICE facility. It's been really bizarre to watch them react to their own, citizens like, hey, guys, maybe you should stop this. And they're like, no, we're going to terrorize you, too. That's not really the way to like win minds and hearts. But I want to go back to what you mentioned that I think is such an important part of the story, the fact that Katie got assaulted and she's having to go and do the detective work to make sure that that person is held accountable. I read that one of the officers that stood by and watched it happen was referred to as a dialogue liaison officer. Did you encounter any dialogue liaison officers, Savanah? And if so, what type of dialogue did they engage in to be such a liaison? Just wondering.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think that the entirety of the Portland Police Department are dialogue liaisons because they don't actually enact any law and order. Again, it's hilarious because you have the governor of Oregon, you have senators, congressmen, you have the mayor of Portland basically being like, yeah, everything's fine over here. Donald Trump is really overreacting. But then when push comes to shove and you get stabbed by a crazy homeless person or Antifa decides to mob you as a journalist and try to take you out, it's like, oh, well, let's just try to talk about this because these people felt threatened by your presence as a journalist because you were scaring them by pointing the camera at their criminal activity. So what were they supposed to do? I mean, killing you was the natural response here. That's Portland. Sarah, it's a madhouse over here. I'm like, what the heck is going on in this city? Sorry to get worked up. It's just like a third world country over here. Yeah. And it's just baffling to me that this has been going on for so long. And to be quite honest with you, I'm happy National Guard is here. Again, they are already in the city. We're waiting for boots on the ground. They're still in training as of now. Antifa has another direct action plan for this Saturday. And what's ending up happening, the reason why you're seeing these agitators back on the ground is because there's basically a 3-strike rule. So ICE can come and arrest them. They give them a citation. They do this another time. And then it isn't until the third time that they're finally hit with potential jail time or felony charges. You have 100 people that have been arrested since, all of this started in June. Only 27 of those people have been federally charged by the DOJ.
Wow.
So that's what's going on over here in Portland.
Wow. It is incredible. It's like, this is America. It doesn't have to be this way. This is literally a choice. It does not have to be this way. It is incredible to me that there are still these Democrat-run cities who think that like this is going to fly in the United States of America under a Donald Trump presidency. Savanah, I appreciate you so much. And please be careful, okay?
I will. I promise. I'll do my best. But, Antifa's out here trying me, Sarah. I'm losing patience with them.
I know. Well, I know because I know you and your last name's Hernandez as well. And mine's Gonzalez. And I know how we get when we get provoked. So just stay safe out there, girl. Savanah Hernandez, Turning Point USA, TPUSA reporter, doing such good work out there, getting all of the footage that, the CNNs and the MSNBCs are too freaking scared to get. All right. Want to thank our sponsor. This segment, new sponsor of the show. Guys, I have been asking for these people to be a sponsor for like a year. I'm so happy. Masa Chips. So I don't know if you realize this. All chips and fries, like this was a thing. They used to just be cooked in tallow up until like the 1990s when big corporations, the food industrial complex, switched to all of these disgusting processed seed oils that are making people so sick. And seed oils actually make up 20% of the average American's daily calories. Except there's a problem with that. Recent studies have linked seed oils to metabolic health issues and inflammation in the body, all sorts of problems. Masa decided to create the most amazing tortilla chip you're ever going to have in your life. 3 ingredients, no seed oils. It's organic nixtamalized corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. They taste incredible. And I'm just going to tell you this. They are more expensive than regular chips. Here's what I will tell you. You will eat way less of them because you're going to feel satisfied. You're going to feel light. You're not going to have any crash or bloat afterwards. It's not going to be sluggish that you're feeling afterwards. And they are way, way worth it. I freaking love these chips. Try them. You never would have thought, why is she so excited about a chip? Try them and you'll understand. MasaChips.com/Gonzalez and use code Gonzalez for 25% off your first order. That is a steal, guys. Go there. Masa Chips, MASA, chips.com/Gonzalez with an S at the end for 25% off of your first order. Joining me now, we have Sleeveless McGee here. Jason Buttrill.
Dang.
Chief
Sleeveless.
researcher of the Glenn Beck program, which I thought that they didn't allow guns in this place.
Oh, no. They've always... You can't hide it. You can't stop them.
You just can't... they're just there.
They're just there.
It's ridiculous. Also joined by Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, who cleans up much nicer than Jason.
Marine Army.
So do a
Very true.
Could it
I love
be
him.
made? Could the contrast be any clearer?
I'm just feasting down on my crayons. Colonel's looking at me. All his disdain.
With my pinky out.
Yes. I'm glad that you guys are here. So I wasn't here yesterday.
Oh.
I was on with Will Cain over on Fox, but I didn't get to talk about the government shutdown, and which I'm like, don't threaten me with a good time. That sounds amazing. And so we have this government shutdown that just started yesterday, and there's all this back and forth, as there always is, about whose fault it is and what the holdup is and all of that. But really, it's that Democrats just really, really don't want to give up free healthcare to illegals. They just really don't want to. And I want to play here. Let's play CNN actually calling Democrats out, which it's really bad for them when CNN is calling out Democrats on their lies.
How they characterize it is you want to give health insurance to undocumented immigrants. I understand that's not really an accurate depiction, but what it does do is...
It's a lie.
It's a lie, but what you support does bring back funding for emergency Medicaid to hospitals, some of which does pay for undocumented immigrants and people who don't have health insurance. Ooh. Why even include that in a bill knowing that they're going to seize right upon that and use that to message?
Uh-oh. And then you had the White House, they were just tweeting out receipts of well, here's what's in the bill. Here's what's in what you guys wanted. So it was buried in the Democrat bill to reopen the government was the provision. There it is. Yep. Repeal of healthcare, subtitle changes, then points to a clause in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act to be repealed. And when you look up that act down at the bottom, it's the one part that stops illegal aliens from getting access to Medicaid. So it's just there is a lie being spewed. It's just by the Democrats. And I want to play for you guys. Let's play Maxine Waters, who, they're just saying the quiet parts out loud at this point. And she was talking about it. And oops, she kind of just let the motive just come through her mouth. Watch.
Do Democrats want to prioritize the health care of illegal aliens over a government shutdown? Because if the government does shut down, American
Excuse me, stop it right there. We're not prioritizing. What we're doing is saying simply we want to keep the government open and we want to work with the Republicans and have a bipartisan agreement to keep this government open, and health care is at the top of our agenda.
But are Democrats demanding health care for illegal aliens?
That's right. Democrats are demanding health care for everybody.
Well, there it is right there.
Yeah.
There it is right there. And this is a group of people who did just the presidential primary. They all raised their hand. They all raised their hand when they, I know we have that clip, Stephen. Go ahead and start playing it. They all raised their hand when they were asked.
Your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
Is this a priority for them? Yes, they all raised their hand. Yes, my government plan would provide health care for immigrants. And now they're like, that's not what this is about. We don't want to do that. No, we don't. Yes, you do. And you have for a very long time now. Obviously, you have experience over in D.C.
A little bit.
What do you...
My hair used to be straight jet black until I saw Maxine Waters eyeball to eyeball. At least I didn't turn to stone. But the bottom line is, this is all silliness. There's no such thing really as a government shutdown. Even if they furlough people, they bring them back after 2 or 3 weeks and they repaying them all over again. I think it's a great way, as Donald Trump said, to look at who really is essential. Mm-hmm. But this is who they are. This is what they want. And I think that first and foremost, kudos to the Republicans for finally putting on their big boy and big girl pants. Mm-hmm. For standing up to this and not worrying about who gets the blame or whatever. Let's continue to go out there and put the onus on them. But let's be honest about how we got here. 12 appropriations bills. The one thing constitutionally that is mandated to the Congress that they must do is pass a budget. And again, we keep failing at doing that, even though we're in charge. And we have to continue to have these continuing resolutions, which leads to an omnibus spending package, which is yay big that nobody reads. So I would like to see them finally get to regular order. But I think eventually the Democrats are going to cave on this, which is just going to upset their liberal leftist base. Yep. Because that's why they're trying to do this shutdown anyhow, is to appease to the crazies in the party. So all of this stuff is going to make a really good commercial advertisement for November 2026 next year.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, they just keep doubling down on the same bad ideas that lost them the election.
Yeah. What I hate, there's a lot of things I hate with this government shutdown bullcrap. For one, I guess the biggest, because it seems like it's just one of the biggest examples of how dirty politics in Washington, D.C. really is. I kind of want to go back to that first video that you played, just with Jake Tapper and the word salad that they're using to make it seem like this is not the issue at hand. Hakeem Jeffries, it's a lie. Jake Tapper echoing, yeah, it is a lie. But they claim this. Oh, but hospitals are providing all this health care to these illegal aliens. Well, wait a minute, you just completely contradicted yourself, but then ran with the narrative that this is all a lie.
Right.
This entire thing is a lie. Everyone is saying that this is a clean CR. This is basically exactly what they voted on when? March?
Yes, just early
in March. Yeah. The same thing. Mm-hmm. And then you had Chuck Schumer at the time saying like, we don't want to give Trump any more ammo, or any other way to like make cuts or do whatever he wants to do. So we're voting to keep it open. But now they're doing it. So what is the real reason for why they're doing it? It's got to be Chuck Schumer, right? It's got to be him scared about his next election. It's got to be. Mm-hmm. What else is it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's frustrating too, because some of the stuff that I was reading said that the polling showed that Americans blame Republicans for the shutdown. And I'm like, I just can't possibly believe that that's true.
Well, Americans are going to sit there and they're going to go with this. Republicans have the House, they have the Senate, they have the White House. So they're in charge, so they should be the ones to blame. But they fail to understand that it takes 60 votes in the United States Senate.
Exactly.
This thing is already passed in the House, and so now it's the Senate that is holding it up. You got, 7 Democrat senators that are, putting the kibosh on it. But yet 3 have already broken camp, and they did vote for it. And now you're looking at another 4 or 5 that are starting to get a little squirrely, and they might be next to vote for it. So, just keep pushing it up there, John Thune, keep pushing it up there, and eventually they're going to crack and they're going to vote for it. I tell you who has been the biggest surprise for me in the Democrat Senate, John Fetterman.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of us sat back and said, this guy's nuts, he's going to be crazy? And now all of a sudden, I don't know, he had an epiphany, like a road to Damascus moment. Mm-hmm. And he is the most sane voice in the Democrat Party right now.
Doesn't it make you wonder, and I really honestly say this with no disrespect, I always, when he was going through his election and he had all of those gaffes, and they were like, he's gonna be fine. It's just it'll go away. It's like a side effect from the stroke that will go away. And I was like, yeah, right. And now I'm like, I think they were right, because I think his brain was just still a little jumbled, and now he's back to sanity because
he's working with the right brain.
But it's literally like a different person on so many levels, not just his views and his ideas, but even just the way that he can speak coherently. Yeah. So I'm like, wow, I actually think that I believe them on that was just a short-term side effect from the stroke, because he seems to be a totally different person.
Yeah, it's a hell of an indictment on just the modern Democratic Party right now that you have one guy that seems somewhat sane. And this guy also just had a traumatic brain injury or, had a stroke. Right. Yeah. He's the guy that seems sane. But I mean, all of them seem to be going in that radical left, direction.
They're held hostage by them.
And that's why that's what I think caused this entire thing. I think you have Chuck Schumer now. He's like at a 2-decade low as far as his approval. He is scared to death. And one of the most vocal people that were for shutting down the government back in March was AOC. Mm-hmm. AOC right now is, I think when they polled her in just a hypothetical poll, she was up by like 19, 20
against
points?
Chuck Schumer.
Yeah. Against Chuck Schumer. 19 or 20 points.
Wow.
He's scared to death. And now he's trying to win back some of those people. So he's willing, that's the kind of people we're dealing with. He's willing to shut the entire government down because he's scared of losing his job in the midterms. That's what it is.
Well, we'll see how they react to President Trump's insistence that, hey, you know what? Now that the government shut down, we're going to have these mass layoffs, and we're going to go ahead and cut all of these Democrat agencies. He posted on Truth Social today. I have a meeting with Russ Vought, he of Project 2025 fame, to determine which of the many Democrat agencies, most of which are a political scam, he recommends to be cut, and whether or not those cuts will be temporary or permanent. I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity. They are not stupid people. So maybe this is their way of wanting to quietly and quickly make America great again. So you have to wonder, like, in the game of chicken, Donald Trump has way more leverage than the Democrats have. So it's like, okay, fine, I'll just start cutting your agencies. That's fine.
But you know what's interesting about that post? Because now all of a sudden, the thing that he was really giving the Heisman to, the Project 2025, now he's saying, of 2025 fame.
Yep.
And so, again, I think it's that, I'm twisted.
He's totally baiting them.
He's totally.
Yeah.
And so now they're freaking out. And
well, I know.
It's pretty brilliant stroke.
It is so smart. I love how he pokes them because he knows exactly how they're going to react. And to your point, Colonel, they did just as he thought that they would. They're like, oh, I thought President Trump didn't know anything about Project 2025. And it's like, it really doesn't matter because he's in his second term and he already won. So, like, you can have all sorts of feelings about it, but it really doesn't matter. Please feel free to go cry about it, I guess. But like, we're doing this. And it's just so fun to watch him masterfully like pull all of these puppet strings with them.
I was just reading I think it was a Washington Times article. I can't remember, just a few minutes ago. And the guy was talking about how you can tell which side is winning based off of how at ease they are, if they're willing to laugh or whatever. Yep. And I can't remember who this was that was writing this, but it was so great. But he was talking about how like joyful and, how, jokey the Kamala Harris campaign was right when they first came out of the gate and started like polling really well. But then all of a sudden they stopped joking and their faces got a lot more serious. How do you describe the Trump administration right now?
Jovial.
I know. They're posting memes. Hakeem Jeffries is having to respond to memes. He called a press conference just to respond
to a meme. Say it to my face. Like, what is going on here? Trump will 100% say it to your face.
100%.
He has no problem with that. So in fact, let's go ahead. Let's take a break. And then when we come back, let's go through this meme war because it really is a sight to see. Finally, an administration who has decided we're going to take advantage of the social media opportunities that we can, and we're just going to have a little fun with it because it turns out America loves that.
He is living rent-free in their head 24/7.
Yep.
He does not care.
And also, as you will find out when we get into this, the left can't meme. And the right actually can. And the White House has staffed all of their agencies with people who are really damn good at it. We'll get into that after the break. But speaking of President Trump, I want to introduce you guys to one of my new favorite drinks. This is Spirit 47 Vodka. And it is 47 for a reason. There it is. Look. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, this is the Presidential Gold Edition, complete with gold flakes and an engraved cork, and it's now nearly 50% off. I love this stuff. Guys, I got it. They sent it to me. I opened the box, and it's this sound of like introducing the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. It's so beautiful. The package is beautiful. The bottle is beautiful. And it's just like, for me, I want to keep one just as a collector's item. I'll drink the others, but I need to keep one just as a collector's item. The holidays are right around the corner. This is the perfect gift for the Trump fan in your life or Trump fans in your life because we all love him. So go to 47vodka.com right now. This is made in MAGA country. Made in MAGA country. 47vodka.com right now. Go get you some. So let's go ahead and, Stephen, throw up that picture that the White House leaked. Oh, there's a different one, too, where he's smiling so big. So there's a picture of President Trump, and he is smiling so big with these Trump 2028 hats out. And Hakeem and Chuck don't think it's funny. They don't think it's funny because they don't realize, of course, he's not trying to run again. He just knows that it will piss them off if he even just mentions it. And it is so brilliant. So we already played this on the show a couple days ago, but just in case you missed it, I want to get into this, the sombrero wars. Okay. Who would have thought that I would be uttering that sentence in 2025, the sombrero wars, but here we are. And what started it was President Trump posting this clearly AI video of Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. Watch.
Way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
So much. One of my favorite parts of all of this is that, because we can get back into how this is playing out, but one of my favorite parts of it is that now their talking point, the Democrat talking point, is the dangers of AI. Gavin Newsom, and it's the dangers of AI. And it's like, nobody thinks that that's a real video. It's a cartoon sombrero on his head. Nobody thinks it's real, you guys. And so, they have to take it very seriously because they take themselves very seriously. And so let's watch Hakeem's reaction.
Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me,
Vaccine.
don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video.
It's racist.
When I'm
How is
back
it
in the Oval
racist?
Office, say it to my face.
Okay, he
Say it
totally
to my
would.
face.
But how is it racist? Because you're wearing a sombrero, and unless I'm missing something, he's black. So I don't even understand how that logic plays out. But the White House is doubling down. They said every day Democrats keep the government shut down, the sombrero gets 10 times bigger.
But where were they when Jill Biden came here to Texas and talked about how one of her favorite things was breakfast burritos?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, give me a break.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And she butchered, what was she saying? I think she was trying to say si se puede, but she said si se puedo or something. I mean, she totally butchered it. And no one, to your point, Colonel, no one wants to call them out.
Are you Latinx?
I am not Latinx. That is not a thing. We do not accept that at all.
My favorite part is he actually felt the need to say it's fake.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like, we know.
Oh, he really wasn't with a fake mustache and a sombrero? Oh my gosh. Like, and what was the other one with like 10 copies of Trump's rose behind him, like playing trumpets?
Yeah.
That's fake too?
I know.
Are you serious?
I know. Do we have that, guys? That one was so funny too.
No sense of humor.
But well, so then let's play. Speaking to Jason's point that they're just having fun. They're just having fun with it. They I think because they believe in what they're doing, they know that it's right for the American people, and they know that the American people have their back. And so JD Vance was asked about this yesterday. Watch.
Is it helpful to post pictures of Leader Jeffries in a sombrero if you're trying to have good faith talks with him?
Oh, I think it's funny. The president's joking, and we're having a good time. You can negotiate in good faith while also poking a little bit of fun at some of the absurdities of the Democrats' positions, and even, poking some fun at the absurdity of the Democrats themselves. I mean, I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop. And I've talked to the President of the United States about that.
Imagine being that reporter thinking like you had a gotcha. Like, do you think that it's helpful? Do you actually think that it's helpful to post sombrero memes? Who cares? Live a little, laugh. It's not going to kill you. These people can't handle it.
I didn't notice that before, but there was actually some journalists in the room that were laughing. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Which is a huge sea change for even before how it used to be. Like maybe it's just because they've opened it up to more variety of
conservative and new media. Yeah.
But there's been I was just watching something else the other day. Oh, he was talking about. Remember when it was his press conference with Netanyahu, and he was talking about how he pronounces Abraham, and there was people laughing also.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just kind of feels different now.
It does.
It feels like some people are just willing to have fun with them, and it's just a little bit more. I don't know. It's just different.
Well, it turns out it feels a little different when you have a president who's not half dead.
Well, when you have a president that's not half dead, and you have a president that's competent, and you have policies that are enabling people to, once again, have safety, security, law and order. If you're right, you're relaxed.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, exactly right. And so that's what I think is just they're like, it's fine. Yeah. It's fine. We'll send in the National Guard if you guys don't want to patrol your own cities. We'll make sure that children are protected. We'll do all the hard things. But while we do it, we're going to have a little bit of fun about it. To show that JD Vance sombrero meme really quick, Stephen. And so Anna Paulina Luna did it to JD Vance, and he had a good time with it. He said it's real. Because let's just laugh a little while we save America. It's not going to hurt you. All right, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, always a pleasure, sir. Jason Buttrill, find your sleeves.
Never.